Hello and welcome to another commentary of Hyrule Total War. And today I have finished up the Zoras and I've started on the Kokiri, so we'll be seeing the Zoras and Kokiri in a bloody battle today, which will be awesome. So I'll just go ahead and start up a match and get that underway. And today I think we'll go to a forest map, just so we can see the Kokiri in their proper environment. So I will be playing as the Zoras, and I will be fighting a swarm of Kokiri, which will be pretty fun. And for these Zoras, I think I'll just choose some of every unit so that I can show them. And I'll have each of the heroes as well. So yeah, just gonna load up on some of everything. I think that's good. Oh, almost forgot the heroes. And then yeah, I only have one unit done for the Kokiri, but it'll be enough. So with that said and done, let us start up the match. And yeah, I finally got more loading screens for the game. This picture was provided by one of my awesome friends. She did a really good Saria cosplay. But anyway, on to the battle. Alright, so we'll look through the Zora units here really quickly. I suppose we'll start from the Zora infantry, which is their basic melee soldiers. Nothing too special about them, just like the primary infantry of every faction. They're just your standard melee units. They got awesome pikes and a nice set of armor. And then over here we have the main ranged unit, which I showed in the last video, the Zora mages. I'll have them stand here for a second. And like in the last video, they basically are able to channel electricity and then fling it across the battlefield as bolts, which is pretty awesome. And then back here in the white outfits we have the Zora healers, which I also showed in the last video. They are basically able to heal the wounds of friendly soldiers when they're not fighting, so they greatly boost the survivability of your force if you know how to use them right. Let's see what else we have. Over here we have the Zora's cavalry, the big Octo Riders. And I was having trouble for a while figuring out what sort of mounts the Zoras would use, and then it just hit me to use the big Octos from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They're pretty awesome creatures, and they work out pretty well as cavalry. Over here we have the Zora infiltrators. I'll move them back here so I can see them a little better. These are the assassin units of the Zoras. They're really good at sneaking behind an enemy army and then coming up and picking off important people from behind. Then up here we have the Sapphire Wardens, which are the Zora's other ranged units. Instead of shooting out bolts of electricity, though, they fling blue fire, which basically is like fire arrows, but it's not affected by rain, so they're a very handy ranged unit. And then over here we have the Zora Shock Troopers, and these are basically their heavy elite soldiers. They're decked out in full suits of armor, and they got these awesome axe claw thingies that they use. Right here we have the first of the Zora hero units, the Zora King from Ocarina of Time, and I also believe he was an Oracle of Ages. But he was always an interesting character, and I just thought it was funny how big he was in Ocarina of Time, so he rides on a big Octo. And then over here we have a fan favorite, the Princess Ruto. Let's see if I can get a good shot of her. I'll move her out of the forest so that she doesn't kneel down, so they can get a better look at her. Yeah, Princess Ruto. A long time ago, when I was a kid and first played Ocarina of Time, I honestly did not really like Ruto as a character, but probably more than any other character in the Zelda series, she's done a 180 as time went on, and I've come to really appreciate the character a lot. And so she's in this game now. And then back here we have Zelene, the last Zora hero, and he's actually in an original character of mine. And I'm not really big on original characters. I don't make them that much, and I usually don't really like original characters, but they're fun to do sometimes. And he was the first original character I ever made, so I think that's everything. Oh, no, forgot these guys. How could I forget these guys? These are the big Octo battle platforms, and they're basically really, really big Octos. And they have these Zoras that ride on top of them and fling fire bolts at the enemy, so they're really awesome. They can trample over everything, as you might expect, because they're quite massive. Now, unlike the last few videos, I'm actually going to try and use a little strategy and not just blindly charge the Kokiri in this match, so hopefully I'll win this time. I'm going to have my assassin units sneak up from behind and start picking their soldiers out, and then I will have my cavalry on my eastern flank, and I'm going to have them come around back and trample over the Kokiri. So that should be pretty awesome if I can manage to pull this off. And I'll just have my infantry up front. So let's go ahead and start up the battle. Let's go take a look at the Kokiri, who's charging out of the forest here. So again, to showcase a feature of this engine, the Medieval 2 engine supports randomized models, and there's literally there's hundreds of accessories that are randomized on these Kokiri, so no two Kokiri look the same. Each one is pretty much an individual of its own right. So yeah, the Kokiri are really weak, so they have these really massive armies. And this army's so massive, I actually think it's causing a little lag on my beefy computer. So yeah, just bombarding them with my Sapphire Wardens, with the blue fire, which is really effective against them. I'm going to have my assassins come around back. I'll have them assassinate their general, since it looks like their general's in the rear. And then I will have my big Octo battle platforms come around and get ready to trample over them from the left. So yeah, these are really awesome, powerful units. You can usually only have one of them in a battle, though, because they're so powerful. Let's take a look at the Kokiri. Brave little children. I see tons of them getting burned down by the fire, and they're still marching persistently. Gonna get my cavalry to come in on the east flank now. Oh, here come the Kokiri charging up head on. Looks like they're making the same mistake I made in the last few videos, just charging without any strategy. This is awesome. As many know, my favorite character from the Zelda series actually is a Kokiri, and we'll see her in the next video, hopefully. So I'm going to have these giant Octoroks just trample over everything. And then I'll have my Octo Riders do the same thing from the other side. Just trample over all these children. I'm such a horrible person. Gonna have my healers start healing my soldiers. And then gonna have my assassins come in from behind and kill their general. Should quickly end the fight, because even though the Kokiri have huge numbers, obviously, their morale is really low and they're really easy to scare, so if I kill their general, I'm pretty sure they're going to start running away as soon as they find out he or she is dead. And they're really disorganized. As you can see, they're just kind of running around everywhere. While the Zoras are like the polar opposite. They have highly organized, highly disciplined soldiers that are really hard to scare off. This giant Octorok just standing here watching all these children run away. I think I'll trample over them. Oh, I'm such a horrible person. So yeah, it looks like the fight is going my way for once, because my assassins killed one of their generals, it looks like. And the Kokiri general is dead. Look, and I won. Just like that. So yeah, if you use a little strategy in a fight and you don't just blindly charge, then you can end up winning like that, and the Kokiri actually made the mistake of just blindly charging me, so that's why they lost. So next time I should have the Kokiri done, and I'll show them next time, so hopefully that won't be too long, because this video was delayed a little while. But anyway, thank you for listening. That was the showcase of the Zora versus the Kokiri, and stay tuned for updates.